Okay. Well, I'm quite tired. I am. I'm very tired. My water's boiling though, so there is that. It's cold and windy out here, but it's at least kind of a bright day. Uh, yeah. I gotta go get my other bottle. My other bottle's blowing by the wind over here. Oh, the cat up there. Anyway, for some reason, YouTube is titling all my videos. I'll put a video and I'll go to load it and I'll write my title. And then for some reason when YouTube loads it, it's automatically changing the title to Just the Two of Us by Grover Washington Jr., which is a music video that I did with Tin Lion and Tin Bug yesterday. Don't know why it's doing that. I'm annoyed, very annoyed by it. And it's also not letting me upload a video unless I add a comment to it. So again, I don't know why this is happening, if there's a glitch in the system or what. But anyway, I had somebody in the comments on my videos there saying some pretty nasty things, accusing me of putting out pedophile messages, and also said some bad things about Rocky, or about me, that I kind of implied that I'm into bestiality or whatever too. Anyway, none of that is true. Just for the record, none of it's true. It's funny, I actually got run out of my own hometown of Perth for being a pedophile. And I'm not a pedophile, but just because of rumors that I got run out. And here in Perth, there's actually a pedophile ring operating. And I know this because a relation of mine who was a teacher was married to another teacher. And that teacher, without her knowledge, without her knowing what her husband was doing, her husband, the other teacher, was engaging in sexual activity with his students, having sex with 14-year-old girls and whatnot. He was a high school teacher. Anyway, the police and the school board and everybody covered up for years and protected him. He was in with all the cops and everything. Anyway, finally he got caught because a woman came forward to say this stuff had been done to her. It went on for 20 years. He'd been molested various students over the course of 20 years. Anyway, finally got caught up with, anyway. And how he got caught up with is a woman went to the police to report having been sexually abused by him when she was a student of his. She was an adult by that time, and she had been through some real emotional trauma and whatnot over what had happened there during her high school days. And the police did what they did with everybody else who tried to complain. They tried bullying her into being silent, and they tried shaming her into being silent. And she wasn't having it. She basically said, look, this did happen. I will go to social media, and I will, basically tell the world how you guys are refusing to do anything about this. And, you're going to have egg on your faces then. Well, of course, the police are very concerned with appearances. And at that point, they had no choice. They kind of had to charge him, which they did. The judge in the case was a friend of his father's. He got a very light sentence. He served less than a year in jail. He's responsible for a lot of trauma and a lot of mayhem anyway. Total scumbag. But anyway, what's come of that is it's looking very much like there's a pedophile ring operating in the town of Perth, Ontario, Canada. I can't get into a lot of details because I know certain things that I'm not really supposed to know, so I can't tell you as much as I would like to tell you. other than to tell you that there is a pedophile ring, or at least it's looking very much like there's a pedophile ring operating in that town. And it wasn't just that one individual that was doing these things, and he was protected because of the I'm falling over here. I'm really tired and not feeling too great. I'm sore. The work today was hard on me, but I'm grateful to have gotten some work. I really do need to work, you know. It's just the job I was doing today. It really knocked me for a loop. But anyway, the bottom line is, I can't say very much. But here I got thrown out, basically driven out of a town because of rumors people were spreading about me. Malicious rumors, pedophilia. And yet, the town, it turns out, has a bunch of pedophiles in it. It actually has a pedophile ring operating in it. You know, the irony does not escape me, I'll tell you that. So every so often I get some numbskull come on this channel. And I've had it happen now a couple of times before. Some troll would start talking about pedophilia and accusing me of being some sort of a pedophile. And it doesn't go over very well with me anyway, you know. And like I said, I mean, look, the police in that town hated me. They hated me with a passion. I guarantee you, if I had ever done anything like that, if I had ever touched a child in an inappropriate way, they'd have slammed my ass into prison so hard it would have made my head spin. Yes, it looks like the police are probably part of the problem with this pedophile ring, just judging by how they protected my cousin's ex-husband. My cousin had no idea, by the way. She threw him out of the house and divorced him immediately. You know, when she found out, those children of hers have suffered terrible over everything that's happened. And she's doing her best, though, to give them a normal life. And it's cost her dearly, too. She can't work anymore as a teacher, really, because she doesn't know who she can trust on the school board. Because some of the people that covered for him are now bosses with the school board. So that's where she's at. It's really screwed her life up bad. It screwed the children's lives up. It screwed the lives up of all those girls that were essentially raped by that fellow, even though it was consensual. I mean, it's not like he physically held them down and made them do stuff. But the thing is, when a grown man in a position of authority does those things with a teenage girl, even if it isn't rape in the sense that he physically, you know, imposed himself against their will, it is still rape because they can't consent. You know, a 14-year-old girl can't agree to do those things with a 40-year-old man. You know, anyway, the bottom line is this. YouTube is screwing up. I don't know why. I don't know if this troll that's made these accusations, if he's hacked into something and he's behind it, or if there's some other reason. Maybe that's just a coincidence that it's happening all at the same time. I don't know. But anyway, as the videos come up and get loaded, I'll change the titles. I'm kind of busy now, so you may see a bunch of Just the Two of Us by Grover Washington Jr. videos on your timeline from me, or whatever, on your feed. That's not what they are. There's one video that is Just the Two of Us by Grover Washington Jr., and that has Tin Lion and Tin Bug in it. All the other videos are other things. I will correct it as soon as I'm able to. I'm just real busy right now, so you have to forgive me for that. I don't know why that's happening, but I'll fix it. I've already fixed one, and I see now I got a bunch to fix, because I've uploaded a bunch of videos I did today, and they've all got that same title for some reason. So anyway, yeah, it's kind of funny how I got persecuted thought I was a pedophile, they'd have been welcoming me with open arms. I'd be one of their people, you know. It's remarkable, you know, that friggin' town. It's just remarkable. I was down there shooting a video of some of the factories and whatnot, and somebody started circling the block and watching me. And I got all paranoid. I figured they were going to call the cops on me because they do that there. You get somebody just circling and watching you, they're on the cell phone with the police, you know. And I mean, I've had this happen before, and if the police come in that town, the police are so corrupt, they will find a reason to charge you. They're not just going to come and confront you and then not charge you. They'll find a reason to charge you, you know. And if they have to, they'll lie to do it. And in the meantime, these same cops were protecting that asshole that was screwing his students, you know. Anyway, yeah, that's enough of that, I guess. Anyway, bottom line is, you know, sometimes we got to deal with these things. People can be tough to deal with. Mostly on this channel, it's positive. I have very little negative stuff here. It's just occasionally something like this will happen. And it probably wouldn't bother me as much as it does, except for the fact that I do have this history of being falsely accused of these things. And it's like I said, the police in that town despise me. So if they could get me for something like that, they would. I wouldn't be standing here now in the middle of a field beside a camper talking to you. I'd be in prison. I would not get away with that. The fella that was doing things with his students, he got away with it because he was friends with them. If I had done the same sort of thing, I wouldn't have got away with it. I guarantee you I wouldn't. And so, yet I have never been charged with anything related to pedophilia. I've had Highway Traffic Act charges. I've had charges for violence. I've had charges for making threats. I've been investigated as a suspected burglar, but that was by a couple of cops who were actually trying to protect an informant and wanted me to take the fall for what he did, because they didn't want their informant to go to jail because he wouldn't be of any use to them if he was in jail. That's what happened there, and I did find out what happened there. That's what it was. So even with that, there was no... Now, the violence and the uttering threats charges, those were true. I did do those things. The Highway Traffic Act charges, some of them were true and some of them were lies. I mean, I was driving beat up old cars, so if they ever wanted to stop me and look close enough at the car, they could find some legitimate reason to charge me. So some of those charges I was guilty for, but, you know, charges related to, you know, unfit motor vehicle or whatever. But I was never guilty, and the same with the violence charges. I was guilty for that. I was in confrontations with people a lot. I had people wanting to beat me. I had people coming at me. I had people literally coming at me looking to beat me. Like the guy who came at me in the junkyard wanting to beat me up because I didn't believe in psychology. You know, I mean, that's literally what I was up against in that town. And the fact that people believed that I was a pedophile based on rumors didn't help. I had people coming after me looking to beat me up for that. So, bottom line is, yes, I was violent. I had to be violent, you know. I mean, if I wasn't violent, I was going to be spending a lot of time in the hospital, because those people would have demolished me. It was only because I was prepared to be violent that I walked away from most of those confrontations. Yeah. Anyway, that's the bottom line. Sometimes you just feel like you're in a no-win situation is all, but like I say, it is what it is. God is still in charge. God knows the truth. God knows who the perpetrators are in these situations. I have nothing to worry about on that front. I'll be judged. I'm not saying I'm not going to be judged, because I'm kind of a bad guy in some ways. But God will not judge me for being a pedophile, because He knows that it isn't true. He knows that it's rumors. He'll judge those who have falsely made that accusation. That's who He'll judge. For that, at least. Like I say, not that I won't be judged, but I won't be judged for that specific thing. I'll tell you that right now. Anyway, there you have it. God knows all. God is still in charge. The world is still basically a good place, despite some of the asshats that live in it. And even at that, I think most of the people are decent, really. I don't think the majority of people are garbage. The majority of the people who come and see these videos certainly aren't garbage. And I appreciate you. You know, I appreciate all your good comments and all your encouragement and all your concern. And I know that for most of you, it comes from a very good place. So I'm very appreciative of that. Alright, I'm going to turn this off now. This video is probably going to be titled Just the Two of Us by Grover Washington Jr. At least until I change it, it will be. Talk to you later.